Hello and welcome to another episode of Scott Reads Comics. Today I'm going to cover Who's Who in the DC Universe, Volume 20, published in 1986 by DC Comics. This particular volume covers characters starting with Rubber Duck all the way through Shining Knight. And we have reached, yes, issue 20 in this 24-issue series. That was the initial run. And so we're actually closing in on a pretty cool goal here, finishing up. And our wraparound cover is beautifully rendered by Paris Cullins and Dick Giordano. And I would say a Perez-like style, in keeping with the style that we've had all along. Ernie Colon did a nice job last issue. Love that Shaggy Man there. Really dig Shay the Changing Man. Looks great. A bunch of other really cool characters are covered in this issue. So let's jump in. Oh, there's the Sensei looking very menacing. And before we get on to our first entry, there is an interesting reply to a letter. I'm not going to read the letter, but David E. Brady from Upland, California wrote in to complain about the logos for certain characters who didn't have logos going into the series. In other words, your lesser characters who never had their own book or were in a team book and never really got the logo treatment. And our editor, Robert Greenberger, and Len Wein, contributing editor, have a pretty nice reply here. You have made a few incorrect assumptions, David. For example, logos for characters are found in a number of ways. We start with our existing logo files, and then we pour through story titles, cover lines, and house ads to come up with a character's name rendered in a style that should be considered usable for a logo. The Monitor logo, while not the most appealing, came from page 32 of Crisis number 1. In many other cases, no logo exists for a character, and then we make one of two choices. First, if the character is obscure and not likely to return, we ask Todd Klein, our ace production man, to select some existing type in as many cases as possible. However, Todd will be commissioned to design new logos. In issue 17, for example, Todd did Night Slayer, Nuklon, Onyx, and Per Degaton. Some artists choose to do the logo themselves, as Craig Hamilton executed Ocean Master in that same issue, and Keith Pollard provided the Pulsar Stargrave logo in issue number 18. We care very much about the logos and try and make intelligent decisions. That's really great. I love stuff like this because it gives the reader an insight into how the sausage is made. And I've often wondered, like, if we start out here with Rubber Duck, this is a tremendous thematic logo. I mean, it's great. I love this character. I love Captain Carrot and the Zoo Crew. And great artwork here by Scott Shaw. And of course, Rubber Duck himself, self-referentially, is gesturing towards his logo. Pretty fun. First appearance, New Teen Titans number 16. He might be my favorite member of the Zoo Crew. I do love stretching characters, and he's a really good one. His alter ego is Bird Rentals, which is pretty hilarious. On to Reander, who is the brother of Starfire. Occupation Freedom Fighter. First appearance, Tales of the Teen Titans, miniseries number 4. Art by Sean McManus. And the second entry on this double entry page, Sabak. Alter ego, Timothy Carnes. First appearance, Captain Marvel Jr. number 4. Art by Kurt Schaffenberger. Next up, we have the Golden Age Sandman with excellent artwork by Michael Baer. And his first appearance was Adventure Comics number 40 in the newer costume, Adventure Comics 69. So he started out as more of a Golden Age crime buster and then became more of this man of mystery type in issue 69. Really nice art. Michael Baer is a great artist we don't talk about enough these days. The Sandman. This is another version of the Sandman. This is the Jack Kirby version. So the artwork is by Jack Kirby and Joe Sinnott. His first appearance was Sandman number 1. Real name, Dr. Garrett Sanford. And Sandy, the golden boy, is next up. He is Sandman's sidekick. Jack Kirby, Greg Thexton. His first appearance, Adventure Comics 69. Real name, Sandy Hawkins. Next up, we have Sarge Steele. Real name or full name unrevealed. First appearance, Sarge Steele #1. Great artwork here by Dick Giordano. Then we have Sargon the Sorcerer. First appearance, All-American Comics 26. Artwork by Fred Fredericks and Dick Giordano. Fred Fredericks is an artist who is mainly known for his inking, so it's cool to see those guys and gals step out and do some penciling. Really nice stuff. His alter ego is John Sargent. Next up, we have one of the founding 3 members of the Legion of Superheroes, Saturn Girl. Imra Ardeen Rons is her real name. First appearance, Adventure Comics 247. Great artwork by Kurt Swan and Carl Kessel. And next we have the villainous Saturn Queen with artwork by Dan Jurgens and Bob Oxner. Her first appearance was Adventure Comics 331. Real name unknown. Yes, she is the evil telepath versus the heroic Saturn Girl. Next, we have Scalp Hunter. Great artwork here by George Evans. Real name, Brian Savage, a.k.a. Kiwanote. And his first appearance was Weird Western Tales 39. Next, we have the Scarecrow with brilliant artwork by Arthur Adams. Still a relative newcomer in comics. First appearance, World's Finest Comics #3. Alter ego, Jonathan Crane. Anyone who saw the Christopher Nolan Batman movies knows the name Jonathan Crane. Next on our list, we have the Scavenger. Real name unknown. First appearance, Aquaman 37. Art by Ron Frenz and Bob Smith. I do love this Ron Frenz artwork. Brings a bit of that Marvel flourish over to DC for this one. Really nice. Very cool. Neat design, neat Aquaman foe. Next up, we have Star Labs with artwork by Ross Andrew and Ricardo Villagran. First appearance of Star Labs was Superman 246. Superman 246. And we have some of the principal scientists. Dr. Sarah Charles was the woman involved in that tragic Teen Titans story that Chuck Patton drew, that 3-parter where Cyborg gets a human-like prosthetic body and in the end has to sacrifice it to save his friends. Very sad. Cool story and great artwork by Chuck Patton. Next, we have the Sea Devils with artwork by Russ Heath. Very fitting art choice for this Sea Devils entry. And their first appearance was Showcase #25. And kind of in a similar vein, we have a group of mostly or all non-powered humans doing adventure-y type stuff. We have the Secret Six with artwork by Jack Sparling. First appearance, Secret Six #1. So yeah, these DC had a lot of these. Challengers of the Unknown also comes to mind. Oh, nice. This probably is going to be my favorite entry in the book. Secret Society of Supervillains. Great artwork by Alex Saviuk and Mike DiCarlo. First appearance, Secret Society of Supervillains #1. I loved this comic prior to the DC implosion in the late 1970s. It suffered from a revolving cast and revolving writers. I should say, I didn't mind the revolving cast all that much, but it was more the revolving writers in the wildly different directions that the book could go in from issue to issue that hampered it. But even so, I still think it's a great read. I do so hope that there is a DC Finest collection for it. They do have a couple of smaller collections, which are nice, but it would be great to see a DC Finest collection for Secret Society of Supervillains for sure. Look at this rogues gallery of potential members they had. Really awesome. Crossing from Earth 1 to Earth 2, and I think even Earth 3. It even involved some crossovers with Kirby's Fourth World characters, too. There was a great slobber knocker of a slugfest between Grodd and Calabac that one of these days, soon on this show, I'm going to cover that issue of Secret Society because it's well worth it. All right, moving on. We have the Sensei, drawn by the immortal Jose Luis Garcia Lopez. Is there a finer figure artist in all of comics history? I do not know. I don't think so. Alter Ego Unknown, formerly Jonah. First appearance, Strange Adventures 215 as Jonah, and Dead Man second series number 2, I'm assuming as the Sensei. Next we have Censor Girl. It was a really cool mystery around who she was. Ended up being Princess Projectra. Very cool. First appearance, Adventure Comics 346. I wish they would list her first appearance as Censor Girl. Great artwork here by Steve Lytle, who is still missed and will always be missed. What a great talent he was. Sergeant Rock up next. Real name, Frank Rock. First appearance, Our Army at War 81. Art by the immortal Joe Kubert. Next up, Seraphan, one of the Forever People. Art by Jack Kirby and Gary Martin. First appearance, Forever People number 1. We have the 7 Soldiers of Victory with art by Howard Bender and Del Barris. And their first appearance was Leading Comics number 1. That's a great old school Golden Age DC team there, the 7 Soldiers of Victory. Next, we have a very creepy villain, The Shade. First appearance, Flash Comics number 35. Art by Carmine Infantino and Rick Magyar. So we do get the kind of the standard Carmine Infantino stuff here, but Rick Magyar is a great anchor, and this is a really nice page. Credit to both artists there. Really nice looking stuff. Oh, we get an awesome Steve Ditko drawn entry on Shade the Changing Man. He created Shade. First appearance, Shade the Changing Man number 1. He would go on to be one of my favorite members of the Suicide Squad, and then he would sort of be reborn in Michel Fife's Copra, which he is bringing to an amazing end in the Death of Copra. Even as I record this, Death of Copra number 2 is out, 3 and 4 to follow. Tremendous stuff. And he's got a character in that series who's inspired by Shade the Changing Man. But yeah, great stuff if you've never checked out Copra. I did cover it on the show a while back, and that episode is worth checking out if you just want to see what I'm talking about. Next up, Shadow Lass. Shadow Lass, Adventure Comics 365 is her first appearance. Tasmia Malar is her alter ego. Drawn by Steve Lytle, just as with our Censor Girl entry. And she is the longtime love interest of Mon-El, probably arguably the most powerful Legionnaire. Oh, yeah, next up we had one of my favorite shadowy DC villains in The Shade, but now actually we have the Shadow Thief, who truly is a scary character. Brave and the Bold number 36, his first appearance. Great artwork by Joe Kubert. Real name, Carl Sands. Carl Sands can turn himself into a living shadow at will. In this form, he can control his density, partially or totally becoming intangible enough to pass through any substance known to man, even solid concrete. So yeah, he's a tricky one to fight, and he's arguably Hawkman's most powerful enemy. Next up, we have the Shaggy Man. Alter Ego, Inapplicable. Justice League of America number 45 was his first appearance. Height, 7 feet 5 inches. Weight, 437 pounds. Great artwork here by Wendy Pinney. So I'm not sure we've seen Wendy Pinney of ElfQuest fame in this series before. I'm so glad they used her for this entry. Let's read about the Shadow Man's powers. The Shaggy Man's powers. The Shaggy Men each have great superhuman strength and can apparently survive without food, water, or oxygen. They can regenerate any damaged or lost body part, even a head. After once experiencing a certain kind of attack, either Shaggy Man can learn how to resist it in the future. So they're very dangerous, worthy of fighting the whole Justice League. Also, too, this entry kind of reminds me a little bit of that great kaiju movie, The Battle of the Gargantuans. I think I may be misnaming it, but it's really cool. It's got two King Kong-like brother kaiju characters. One is good, one's bad. Fun movie. Moving on, we have the lovely Shakira with art by Mike Grell. And her first appearance is Warlord number 32. Alter Ego, none. Yeah, she had the cool ability to turn into a black cat, which is pretty great. Next up, the Shark. Not an Aquaman villain, but more of a Green Lantern villain. First appearance, Green Lantern, second series, number 24. Art by Dave Gibbons, and I do love this artwork here. Really nice. The Shark possesses great psionic powers, enabling him to manipulate matter mentally and to project powerful energy bolts. He can fly and grow to gigantic size. Man, this guy's a powerhouse. Next up, we have Shazam. Nice artwork by Jerry Bingham. He did such great covers for Suicide Squad early in that title's lifetime. First appearance, Wiz Comics number 2. Alter Ego, formerly the Champion. Next up, we have Shimmer by the aforementioned Chuck Patton and Bob Smith. Love this artwork here. Really great. Real name, Celinda. Last name, unknown. First appearance, New Teen Titans. First series, number 3. Yeah, and she is a very powerful foe. She's kind of like Element Lad. She can transmute inorganic matter. I think Element Lad is who I meant. And finally, The Shining Knight. Beautiful artwork by John Bolton. Alter Ego, Sir Justin, alias Justin Arthur. First appearance, Adventure Comics number 66. Beautiful character. Greatly rendered here by Bolton. Just really nice. And we have our inside back cover with notable appearances by the characters covered in this issue. A nice feature as always. And that is it, folks. A tidy read-through of Who's Who in the DC Universe number 20. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like and subscribe. Tell your friends. I'll bring you more soon on Scott Reads Comics. Thanks for watching.